Are you sometimes finding yourself in a situation that you want to achieve greatness, but your partner doesn't feel it this way? Maybe you have this vision, you want to build a better life, but your partner maybe doesn't see it this way. Maybe she wants you to stay back at work, or he. And do you know what? We had a similar experience with my wife. Today is here Barbara. She's my partner, and we are together for how long?
Okay, good question. Yeah, since, I don't know, it's the end number of your mom's birthday.
So 2015 we had a wedding, but we are together for 12 years.
12 years, yes.
We will find out what Barbara is doing at the moment, but also she will share with us how was it before we got where we are. Because sometimes it's easy to see the good things, but it's very good to see the hardships which we had to went through. Hello, Barbara. Hi, welcome.
Hello, thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Yes.
Wasn't that far from the living room to the office?
Yes, a few steps.
Perfect. So, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself? What is it you do at the moment, and what life are you living at the moment, so people have a little bit of idea what is it you do?
At the very moment I'm being interviewed by Vincent. But yeah, I am a mom of 3 girls right now, a home educator, so we home educate the girls, and recently trained doula, so I do enjoy supporting women, especially after they've had their children, because that's where my story comes from. I've had a difficult postpartum with my first child, and a second a little bit.
Okay.
And then I do lots of other stuff, I enjoy baking, herbs, foraging, gardening, animals. Just learning, skill-based, just all about skills.
Okay, great.
Handwork.
Perfect, thank you for sharing. I already know the answers, but I'll be asking you anyway because I want the people to know. So, where was the point when you decided, when we had the first child, or you decided like, okay, let's do home educating, because there is a very small percentage of people on the planet, they do home educating. So, how did you come up with the idea? And how did it feel at the first? Like, was it easy? Was it difficult? Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, well, as you all know, we come originally from the Czech Republic, and it's very common that moms stay home with the children for the 3 years of age until they go to nursery. So it felt very natural for me to stay home. And when I found out that the moms in the UK have maternity leave for 8 or 9 months, I felt like, wow, that's weird. It's way too soon. Yeah, so it just happened naturally. And then, I don't know, I somehow found out that there are people home educating their children. And also at the time when our first daughter was 3 years of age, you get some hours, I think, funded by the council or the state. Yet it is still quite expensive to send the children to nursery, so I would have to work, and at that time I was working in a restaurant. And well, it's a hard work, but they don't pay you enough of money. So it turned out that I would have to be working quite a few hours a week in order to pay for the nursery. So it didn't make sense for me to be working away and then paying someone else to be with my child. And I thought, do you know what? I didn't have my children for having someone else, for a stranger to raise them. So,
Okay. And was there any specific, books, or have you met any specific people who helped you with that decision, or was it like everything on your own? Because obviously we are from Czech Republic and it's not common at all. And also you told me the first time, let's do home educating. So obviously for me it was also like,
Yeah, what's going on? Yes, at that time I was very interested in the Montessori. So there's a Maria Montessori back in the days in Italy. She was a teacher and she observed how children develop. And that is a point that helped me to understand the children's development and just trust them, trust the children, because there hasn't been a child that had been born without the intention of learning. Like the children they are learners, and we all are meant to be learning all the time. Sadly, this educational system, the school system, does make you want not to learn anymore once you get out of the school system. So definitely Montessori, I did know that I can trust the children, that they will go through sensitive periods where they want to learn all about letters, all about numbers, etc. So I read lots of books about Montessori. And then slowly it felt quite closed box, because in Montessori there are certain rules and how to use the materials and how not to. And then, it just slowly evolved over few years. And then, quite a few friends. I mean, pretty much all of our friends are home educating, so we are very blessed. There is an amazing and close community that we have, which we are very privileged and blessed to have. Because at that time back in Edinburgh, we were alone. We didn't have many people around. And it's quite niche to home educate, isn't it? Like, majority of people put their children to school. And I think you were a bit scared, maybe, like, wow, what is this all about? Like, are the children really going, are they going to be literate, educated? But as we go along, I mean, and at the end, it's whatever happens. Like, we don't know what the future holds and stuff, but it is in our minds, and like, we love living the life we live, and we see the point.
Yeah. So would you say that having the community, having these people around you, it's a big thing if you want to, do that? Yeah.
Definitely, it's a huge thing. Yeah. There is a saying, isn't it? Like, you become who you are with. Or surrounded by, and that's, I mean, for me, that's always had been a huge thing. And again, coming back to my first postpartum after I had my child, I was alone. You were away all the time, and it was shite. So it's very important to have a good base community. And of like-minded people.
Perfect. Amazing. Yeah, I can see it in all aspects in our life. Like, if you want to build a business, you are with business people. If you want to, I don't know, be a speaker, surround yourself with speakers, to surround yourself with people who you want to become. Yes. You also mentioned that now you are trained doula. You already done a few clients. I know that for a fact. And you are helping women, obviously, especially after they had the child. And because you mentioned that it goes to your story. So can you tell us a bit more about that?
What is that story? Well, the story goes as we become parents, and we are in the UK only for a couple of years. We barely have any friends. Obviously, there's no family around whatsoever. And we come with a great and as well a stupid idea to move from Edinburgh to Fife, which was amazing in a sense that we got what we wanted. We wanted a little house with a little garden to raise our family, but also we left the little friends that we had in Edinburgh. So for me, that was one specific friend that I met at a pregnancy yoga. And it was difficult, because at the time we had the food truck business, so you were... Vincent was trying to work really hard. You left like 6 a.m. in the morning, came back at 9 or I don't know, just late. In the evening, I was home alone all the time with the baby. And although the birth was pretty much what I wished for, but it was still traumatic because there was a lot of things that happened. I was in the hospital, to mention, because the other 2 children were born at home, and it was a whole different empowering story on its own. So I did suffer with postnatal depression, coming to suicidal thoughts, and I just hated my life at that time, and it took me quite a while to embrace the motherhood. And that's the thing, back in the days, living in tribes and communities, we had all the village to support, because it does really take a village to raise a child.
And that was one of the reasons why you decided to help women which they have the same problems.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Because we need to build the village, and I'm here to help to build the village.
What do you think?
Extra hands.
What do you think is the biggest problem when the women feel that way? What do you think is the biggest problem for them?
Yeah, I think usually it's probably the partner not being able to be around, because the partner needs to provide for the family, obviously. Not enough of support. That's the main thing. So not having family around, or not the community, partner being away, and also education, because if we know how we should be caring for the women in the postpartum, then we would know. And it's a complex. It's not just it's not easy to pinpoint, but definitely, especially partner. The partner makes a huge difference.
I think thanks. I think the big problem also for what I see when somebody is feeling that way, and they are women, or they're feeling that way, and let's say the partner needs to go to work or do stuff. I think the big problem is the women that are afraid to ask for help.
Yeah.
They're afraid to ask for someone like you or someone else to help them, or even a friend, you know, because it's in the society where we live, people are kind of trained to not show weakness.
Yeah.
So, and it's very difficult to share and open up to someone because it's very intimate, and it's like you don't want people to say, like, yeah, you don't love your child or what?
Yeah.
What? Like, so you don't want to be judged. So it's
judgment and
so I feel like
or like, am I
difficult.
worthy enough, you know, of being helped? And so as I said, it's quite complex. There's a lot of things that. Yeah.
So on that point, I just want to say, like, if you feel that way, someone, just ask.
Reach out.
Just
and
ask.
It could be your friend, you know, like, it doesn't have to be necessarily doula. Ideally, it would be provided within the close circle. It would be mums, sisters, grandmothers, your friends, like blood-related relatives, perhaps.
Okay. So that's what you do now. You're helping women. We are where we are. We have 3 beautiful daughters, and one just stepped into the road. We had to stop the video for a bit, but you would never know if I wouldn't say. Anyway, so the other question I have, like when you mentioned that the first child, you had the postpartum depression, and I was away a lot. I was working. I was trying to build a business, right? So could you tell us a little bit about the background of us trying to build a business and trying to do things? Because obviously people I can shoot the videos on YouTube and just tell people like, do that, and you'll have that. But it's not as simple as it sounds, right?
Yeah. No, it's not. Yeah. It's not. Well, first of all, it felt like a baby. Like before our first daughter was born, that was our baby, like the food truck business. And we just loved cooking, and we were like, one day you just came like, why don't we buy a food truck? Or maybe we watched a chef movie or something. I don't know where it came from, to be honest. But I remember when we still lived in Edinburgh and I was pregnant, and then you were like, I don't know, I just found a food truck here in Edinburgh. Shall we go and check it out? And we did, and then, I don't know, we just decided to buy it, and we bought the food truck. And and then we didn't have really any money to put towards marketing, like building a brand or anything. So we just so the food truck already had a certain brand, stickers, like stickers on, and it looked a certain way. So because we didn't have enough of money to change any of that, so we only, it was called the food shelter. No, what was it? The food shack? So I think because we didn't have enough of money to cover all the stickers, so we changed the shack to a shelter. So it was barely changed, and like even lots of people were mixing up with the previous, with charity.
Yes,
because
shelter.
It's called shelter.
We didn't know because we've been limited with English.
Yes, and also they were still asking if we are the previous owners because they remember the previous owners. Yes, so that was very stupid thing. As a first thing, I think. Yeah. Well, also not having any plan whatsoever, perhaps, I guess. Yeah. Well, sometimes you need to take action, fair enough, but And then how we started trading, that also just happened. I was one day on a call with my grandma, and she was like, what have you done? Buying a food truck and you're pregnant and soon to give birth. And I'm like, okay, and I felt very angry after that call, and I'm like, or like motivated angry kind of, and I'm like, okay, do you know what? And so I just looked up and searched and found out, places where to go trade. So we did go trading, and actually the first time, I mean, it was terrible still, but it was the best out of all the attempts we did at that certain spot trading.
We made £120.
120 pounds.
In a day.
In a day.
There was 3 of us.
The other days we made much less than 120 pounds. So it was actually great.
It was a good day.
Yes, it was a good day. And was it after that we had the accident with the tire thing? That was horrible. So it was a tire that cost £70.
Yeah, to repair.
Yeah, I mean, the food went bad. It was really warm, and we did build up some following on the internet, but very little, and we did trade at few things. But I don't know. Yeah, we just were not. It was not well made. Yeah. Business.
Because we were just focusing on the food, on the product.
Yes, we just focused on the product, on the taste. Like, our food was delicious and great. But there is so much of great food you can do. But then, I mean, if the other things don't work, then it's not going to work. So we were trying. Then the first baby came. We were still trying. We had probably some jobs in between, to cover the winter. And then over the spring, summer season, we would be trading or trying to trade. So we tried different techniques of having like a permanent spot, doing events, mobile events or private events. And yeah, at the end we decided to sell it. And food truck is a very demanding job because it's not only selling food at the event, but you have to cook the food prior to the event. And in order to cook the food, you have to buy the food. And in order to buy the food, you have to plan the food. So out of the 7 days, if you're trading for 2 days, I mean, pretty much 5 days. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Yeah, the whole week is just gone. Yeah. And that was also when our second daughter was born. We decided to sell it just a little after she was born, I think. Yeah, it was just too much. We were also gone quite a lot and very physically demanding also, just maneuvering the whole freaking heavy tray.
After we opened the cafe.
Yeah, after that we opened a cafe up in North or something. Yeah, then also Glasgow. Yeah, and again, it just was not properly made, anything, like not the brand, and just, we were trying. Yeah. It's the same, like the life throws at you the lessons until it's learned, isn't it? And yeah, we haven't learned the lesson back then yet. Yeah. So because obviously I was doing most of the running of the business and everything for the food truck, and after for the cafe what we bought in the Berwick upon Tweed, and I was coming, with the, like, okay, we'll do that, we'll make money and things like that. And after you've seen that actually we are not making money, we are losing money, how did it make you feel? Yeah, it was horrible. I mean, the food truck, that was so stressful. Like, I mean, I have to say, like, I don't come from a family having a good money education or relationship, so that was first thing. Second thing, doing this business, that it's not working, and seeing just how stressful it is, like counting literally the pennies to have enough to pay for the rent for the next month.
Or don't pay the rent.
Or don't pay the rent. Yes. So that was, it was stressful. So I remember like selling the food truck was like, oh, okay, chapter's closed. Then we were trying like different chapters. Yeah. But there was again, and obviously 2020 happened, which was not very profitable year for certain businesses, especially hospitality businesses. Perhaps, I guess. There still might be some that made a lot.
So we lost the money during the 2020 because we obviously had to sell the cafe with the discount. And how did you feel when I said like, okay, let's do £1,000 and I'll go to property course and no money at all, debts?
Yeah, no, like seriously, any courses. Vincent was like, oh, I bought a course, and I'm like, what? With like what money? Or like, are you sure? Because like maybe we both get a job and like at least pay, like I don't know, maybe save a little bit or something, like build up a little bit, and then like we again maybe try business or something, because already like I've had the experience of like the food business not working, then whatever. So
and in the first, I think, like year and a half in property, we were still struggling, right?
Yes, it was so stressful. Horrible experiences with the joiners, the people that went even to jail or whatever. Yeah, it was so stressful, and obviously also just I literally feared for the family, like for my family, like for the life. Also because those people were not very nice. And so at some point I just told Vincent, like, I don't know, like I feel like I've given you a lot of trust over the years.
Like what, 6-7 years of patience? Come on, Barbara. We need more. We need longer.
6 or 7 years of patience. And I thought, okay, I think that's me done. I probably don't have any more patience, and I want some form of stability for my family, like some safety. Yeah. Yeah,
and I remember you said like, okay, I'll give you 6 last months or something.
Really?
Yeah. You need to make it work. And I remember that I even went and I'd done a job interview to be like an estate agent or something for one company. Yeah. And I had the interview and they said about the money. I'm like, oh, okay. But after I said like, no, I'll do this 6 months.
Yeah, I remember interview or something that you mentioned. Yeah.
Yeah. And after there was the hard push and we changed it a lot, right?
Yes. Yeah. A lot has changed since then.
Yeah. And how do you feel now about all those things that are happening?
Yeah, I mean, it's also been like my own personal journey, like more of a trusting, and I don't know, I'm a bit spiritual person also, so, there's only so much you have control over, but there's also a lot that you don't have control over. And like I do believe in like believing and like, similar things like vision board, but also like manifest like with heart, and praying and things like this. So that's what I did. And I mean, you did so much of hard work, and you've grown so much, you've learned loads. which I'm very thankful for. And you do so much for our family. So that's nice right now.
Yeah, thank you for
a bit easy, I'd say.
Yeah.
Obviously, there are still challenges and stuff.
So now, if I'll come home and I'll just tell you I spend another 15,000 for another course, you are fine.
Yeah. Now I don't care really.
It happened 3 days ago.
Yeah. I know that you know how to make the money back. Or I mean, not just back, but you know, I know that you know how to make money now. And even though we've been discussing, like, if some of the businesses, you know, either, I don't know, we sell them or whatever, something doesn't work out, like, we just easily know there is so many opportunities in life. And there's so much you can do as for business or like anything. And
if everything got bankrupt, I wouldn't go back to be an employee because I know the freedom we can have. So we just build another business, and with all the tools what we already have and know, all the knowledge we acquired over the years.
Yeah, we have the basis for, like, you know, the legs of the table to build on. And
is there anything like you want to also share? So for example, if there's someone listening and, you know, they have this partner and, you know, and maybe they are in this position, like, you know, it's tough, you know, obviously you share your journey. So what would you say if they feel like, you know, it's tough, one or the other partner, or they both feel that way, what they can do, or in order to overcome it and just like keep going so they don't give up actually? Because if they give up, they are giving up their dreams, they are giving up their dream life because they want to achieve something. And if they don't do it, so they'll be just trapped in the rat race like everybody else. And at the end of the life, they'll be like, I should do more, I should take more of the risk, but now it's too late. So is there anything you would want to share regarding that?
Education, and probably finding the peer group. That is, I think, probably one of the keys, or few keys of the success. Because I mean, that's very. Yeah. It's quite complex again, you know, because perhaps that partner also might be pushing for something that doesn't make sense, you know. Yeah. But it's important to be on the same wavelength, pretty much. And so just like communicate it with your partner. So communication probably would be important. And then for that particular person who is trying to achieve something in whatever, just educate yourself, find people who are successful, ask questions. Because there is this beautiful saying in Czech, like, if you have a lazy mouth, then nothing happens. So like, go, ask, speak, mention, like, word of mouth, everything.
Okay, so what I would now to say, I would like to first say thank you very much for being here today. I'm sure we will do it again. And I'm very happy for all these nice words what you told me, and I'm very thankful for all the patience what you had with me. And I hope that, you know, we finally have the life what you always wanted and I wanted. So we live the life on our terms.
Yes.
And if anybody heard our story, I hope that, you know, they can be encouraged and they can, you know, try to find a way. And if somebody would be struggling, you know, as a mom, or it can be even a dad, you know, and you feel like you have something you want to share, maybe you had a child and Barbara can help you with, you know, postpartum, you know, even if you live totally different, even on the call or anything, you can reach out to Barbara. I'll put the descriptions for her social media so you can get in touch with her. And so thank you very much for being here.
You're welcome. I love you.
I love you too.